Hi, fourth and fifth grade. Good to see you. I'm coming at you again with another First Chapter Friday installment, one of our Mark Twain nominees. And this week is an adventure-packed tale. So get excited about City Spies by James Ponti. If you are into action, adventure, excitement, this has obviously spies. It has a lot of other stuff in it, but I'm going to read you the little intro and then a bit of the first chapter. The first chapter is quite long, so I'm going to stop like kind of halfway between it. So anyway, here we go. Sarah Martinez is a hacker. She recently broke into the New York juvenile justice system to expose her foster parents as cheats and lawbreakers. However, instead of being hailed as a hero, she finds herself facing years in a juvenile detention facility and banned from using computers. Enter Mother, a British spy who not only gets Sarah released from jail, but also offers her a chance to make a home for herself within a secret team of young MI6 agents. Operating out of a centuries-old manor house on the coast of Scotland, the City Spies are 5 kids from around the world. When they're not attending an elite boarding school, they're training for their roles as the biggest secret in the British Secret Intelligence Service. Before she knows what she's doing, Sarah is heading to Paris for an international youth summit, hacking into a rival school's computer to prevent them from winning €1 million. That's like dollars in Europe. Dangling 30 feet off the side of the building and trying to stop a notorious villain, all while navigating the complex dynamics of her new team. No one said saving the world was easy. Okay, so that was the introduction. Remember, we can sometimes see that on the inside cover or on the back. I read you the inside cover. And now here is chapter 1. A man called Mother. Sarah looked at the water stain on the wall and imagined it was an island. She wasn't sure if that was because it actually looked like one or just because she so desperately wished she were in some tropical paradise far from Brooklyn, and this tiny room on the 8th floor of Kings County Family Court. She sat across the table from her public defender, a massive man in a rumpled suit named Randall Stubbs. His bulky frame hunched over her as he scanned her file. "This doesn't look good," he muttered, because stating the obvious was apparently something they'd taught you in law school. "You're lucky they've made you such a generous offer." "They have?" Sarah asked, surprised. "What is it?" He looked up from the file and said, "You plead guilty to all charges and you get 30 months in juvenile detention." 2.5 years in juvie didn't sound generous to Sarah, but it probably wasn't much worse than her last few foster homes. She was tough for a 12-year-old. She could handle it. "And of course," he added, "you won't be allowed anywhere near a computer." This, however, was unacceptable. "For how long?" "For the duration of your sentence, maybe longer as a condition of your release. That'll be up to the judge." But all I did was..." "What?" he interrupted. "Hack into the computer network of the entire juvenile justice system of New York? Is that what you were going to say? Because that's not what I'd call an all I did situation." I know, but I was only trying to..." "It doesn't matter what you were trying to do," he said. "All that matters is what you did. You're lucky you're 12. If you were 13, they probably would have bumped you up to a higher court to make an example out of you." The weight of this hit her hard, and for the first time, she regretted her actions. Not because they were against the law, legal or not. She had no doubt that she'd done the right thing, but she'd never considered that she could be banished from the one corner of the world that made sense to her. The only time Sarah felt at home was when she was sitting at a computer keyboard. I'll never hack again, she said. I promise. I promise. Oh, you promise? He responded sarcastically. Maybe you can cross your heart and hope to die once we get in court. I'm sure that'll just fix everything. Sarah struggled. When it came to controlling her temper, a diagnosis that was confirmed by multiple counselors and at least 2 school psychologists, still she tried to keep cool as she looked at the man who was supposed to be helping her. She couldn't risk angering him because he was her only hope for a positive outcome. So she took a deep breath and counted to 10, a tip from one of those counselors whose name she'd long since forgotten. Okay, if I can't use a computer, she said, barely masking her desperation, then I can't do the one thing I'm good at, the thing that makes me special. Yeah, well, you should have thought of that before She probably would have lost her temper right then and there if the door hadn't suddenly flown open, and into the room stepped a man who was in every way the opposite of the attorney across from her. He was tall and thin with a thatch of unruly black hair. His suit was impeccable. His tie matched his pocket square, and he spoke with a British accent. Sorry to interrupt, he said politely, but I believe you're in my seat. Oh, you've got the wrong room, grumbled Stubbs. Now, if you don't mind, I'm having a conference with my client. Except, according to the substitution of counsel form, she's my client, the other man replied as he showed Stubbs a piece of paper. This brought an instant smile to Sarah's face. Stubbs eyed the man. That doesn't make any sense. She can't afford a fancy lawyer like you. She doesn't have any money. Of course she doesn't have any money. She's 12. 12-year-olds don't have money. They have bicycles and rucksacks. This one, however, also happens to have an attorney. This paper says I've been retained to represent Miss Sarah Maria Martinez. He turned to her and smiled. Is that you? Yes, sir. Brilliant. That means I'm in the right place. Who retained you? Asked the public defender. Stubbs. An interested party, said the man. Beyond that, it's not your concern. So if you please leave, Sarah and I have much to talk about. We're due before a judge very shortly. Stubbs mumbled to himself as he shoveled his papers into his briefcase. I'm going to go check this out. There's a lovely lady named Valerie who can help you, said the British man. She's with the clerk with the court on the 7th floor. I know where she is, Stubbs snapped as he squeezed past the man into the hallway. He started to say something else, but instead he just made a frustrated noise and stormed off. Once Stubbs was gone, the new attorney closed the door and sat across from Sarah. I've never seen that before, he marveled. He literally left the room in a huff. She had no idea who might have hired an attorney for her, but she was certainly happy with the change. I've never seen it either. Now tell me, he said as he popped open the latches of his briefcase. Is it true? Did you hack into the computers of the city's juvenile justice system? She hesitated to answer. You needn't worry. Attorney-client privilege forbids me from telling anyone what you say in here. I just need to know if it's true. She gave a slight nod. Yes, it's true. Brilliant, he said with a wink. He pulled a small computer from his briefcase and handed it to her. I need you to do it again. Do what again? Hack into the juvenile justice system database, he said. I need you to make me your attorney of record before Mr. Stubbs gets to the 7th floor and checks for himself. You mean you're not my attorney? She asked. Nope, never set foot in a law school, he said conspiratorially. So chop chop, I've got an associate who's going to delay him in the hallway, but she'll only be able to do that for so long. So things are starting to get crazy for Sarah. And the mother, as they call him, the British lawyer, Anyway, things get crazier, things get more exciting. Sarah is going to go on an adventure. This City Spies is such a good book. There's actually a second one, which I purchased for the library, so it's coming in soon. But this is part of a series. This James Ponti, if you read it and you like it, you will like, he has a lot of other good books that we also have in the library. So check this one out first, come see it. But if you do like it, I want you to check out some of his other stuff. Ask us and we'll help you find it because it's so good. Okay. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great Friday. I miss you. I'm hopefully at home with baby Wood. Baby boy here is going to be coming to join us soon. So by the time you see this, he'll probably be here. But I'm hoping that I will see you in a few weeks. All right. Bye, guys.